This time on Street Rat Garage, we are back with our auction buy, this 2016 Chevy Tahoe, which I got for only $3,800. Let's have a look at it. So I bought this truck at govdeals.com at the State of Ohio auction. If you go to govdeals.com, you can look and browse by state or zip code or radius, a whole bunch of different things that you can shop by. So I'm located in Indianapolis, so I go and shop about 200 miles, 250 miles out of my radius, and that's the furthest I'm willing to go to buy a vehicle. Now, I did buy this sight unseen, but fortunately, when you buy from a lot of government sales, they disclose everything that's wrong with the vehicle because they really don't care. They're just looking to get rid of the vehicle. They're going to list everything so somebody can't come back on them and say you didn't disclose this, that, or the other. So they really do a good job of telling you what's wrong. So this one, it had a problem. It has a power steering failure, and it was listed, and I knew it when I got it. It also has a couple of bad batteries. Bad meaning that it will jump start, it will run, and you can turn it off during the day after it charges up. But come nighttime, the battery doesn't hold a charge. It also has not one, but two batteries, which a lot of the police vehicles, the PPV Chevy Tahoes, have an extra battery over here on the side. It's a little bit smaller in size. This is 730 code cranking amps, and I can't tell what this one is because you can't see it, but probably a little bit more. But these batteries, they do not hold a charge overnight. But the real problem, it starts up just fine. It has no power steering, so it's a real wrestle to drive this thing, which I actually have been doing. I've been driving this for about a week just to kind of get a feel for it and see if I can't get some sort of power steering back. Now, besides that issue, the truck overall, it's in pretty good shape. I mean, they do regular maintenance on these vehicles. That's no big deal. It's a standard procedure on most major police departments. Not everybody has a good police department, a good maintenance, but usually a big city or a big state organization like Ohio State or Indiana State, they maintain their vehicles. They keep very close eye on those particular features, and you usually get a pretty good vehicle. It has good tires on it all the way around. That's at least about 80% really, and there's 8 quarts of oil that it takes. So they got that marked down there. It takes a lot of oil. I think the last one only took like 7 quarts. The dual battery setup, and if we look inside, we can see the interior is actually pretty good shape. There's a little bit of wearing right here from being smashed, but they usually keep a cover over the seats in Ohio, and that kind of keeps the interior fresh for a lot longer. But they do take the center consoles out of these. They don't even leave the box like we had in the last one, and we have excess wiring here, which we need to figure out, because I believe we can put a center console in here, and I think this is the that's the USB ports, auxiliary port for that. We got a little extra wiring here. Now these, I don't know 100% for sure, but I'm told that these trucks have the ability to already integrated into them a wig-wag system where the headlights will flash back and forth, kind of like a Dodge Charger. I had a Dodge Charger that had that, and the tail lights will flash back and forth in a wig-wag pattern. Now, in some state that's illegal to hook up as a civilian vehicle, but in the state of Indiana that's legal. I'm pretty sure, I think. But at least the wig-wags on the rear tail lights should be good. I've seen a lot of civilian vehicles have the headlights flash back and forth. So if we can figure out how to make that do it, we're gonna hook those up. We also need to find a center console. I don't know, either a civilian model console, or if we can find a cheap police console, that'd be fine too. Just as long as we have cup holders. That is the most important thing. There's nowhere to put my drink in this vehicle, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. But we really need to get those that power steering issue figured out first before we put in the center console or do all that other fun stuff. Now, the back seat. It's weird on these Tahoes. The back seats are usually some sort of vinyl, and the front seats are cloth. I don't understand why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with mass production and saving some money somewhere along the lines. But yeah, there's that. But this one is a lot nicer vehicle than my other one. There's some scuff marks here from, the laptop situation. There's some chip marks here and here from same sort of deal. There's a laptop that goes here and it wiggles around back and forth. Oh, we got Velcro on the dash for whatever reason. We have a spotlight. It works, so that's cool. We got that. Spotlights, you can have a spotlight in Indiana. I think most places you can. Probably not California, because you can't have anything in California. But you can have it, just don't be shining it in people's eyes. But besides that, the truck is in pretty good shape. But my most favorite feature is back here. It has a glass that flips up, but inside of here, this is where I carry all my tools. We lift this guy up here. It came with this big box. Just pull this guy open right here, and look at that. Slides right out. And this was originally for police junk, assault rifles or what have you, or DLT stuff. But I can put my jack in here, tools, my lockout kit, my jack handle, my jump starters, impacts. I can probably put this stuff inside. Close, there you go. But I keep a few things here, and it's got a cage right there to keep anything from sliding forward and hitting you in the back of the head. And it's got a lot of cool stuff on it. I went to Rural King and bought these batteries. That's for the main battery, that's for the secondary battery. These are the exact same ones that came out of it, only a lot cheaper. This one right here was like, this one was like 150, 160 bucks. That one was just over $100 right there. Rural King's a place to go for batteries. They have the cheapest ones I have seen so far. But it does have, there was some lights right here. Now in the state of Indiana, we can put some red lights right here. We can't put red and blue, but we can put amber, red, or clear lights right there back in those holes and hook them up with that wiring harness. And that will be legal for us to do our roadside assistance work, which is the reason I bought this truck. We had that 2013 was the last one we bought, and that was in just last year. That was 2025. But you've seen that one on the channel, and it was a good vehicle. It's still a good vehicle, but I sold it for, what did I sell it for? I sold it for $4,000 with taxes, fees, and auction cost. This one cost me, I think, $3,795, something like that. $3,800 is what it cost me. So $200 less than I sold the 2013. This is 2016. But of course, it needs new batteries. So we got a couple $100 in batteries. So that's about the break-even point. And we're going to buy a center console and a couple other things. So we'll be just a little bit over what we sold our 13 for. This one does have a few more miles. It has 233,000, something like that. But man, it runs good. It runs real good. These are two-wheel drive vehicles, which I don't mind. I have no problem with two-wheel drives. It doesn't snow here that much, even though there's a bunch of snow in the background. It happens maybe once or twice a year. Not that big a deal. You don't need a four-wheel drive. And for those times I do need a four-wheel drive, well, there's a Wrangler back there in the garage. That's no big deal. But another thing we need to do on this is it has the lettering, the glue from the lettering still on there. Right there, basically this door and this fender. So we need to get that nasty stuff off. It needs to be cleaned up. It is absolutely filthy, and we need to get the batteries in. Now, doing a search on the internet, there's all sorts of maybes and what ifs on this power steering. Maybe it's the batteries. For some reason, the internet says that low voltage from the batteries can cause the electronic power steering unit to not see enough voltage and not operate. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that could be a thing. But it also says it could be a thermostat or a temperature sending unit. Somehow, I guess those are tied in. I don't know how a thermostat affects your power steering, but that's another thing that could be done. You could be wrong with it. There could be wiring issues. There could be a ground. This has 1, 2, 3, like three or four main ground wires that could be bad as well, not making good connection. There's that. Wiring going to the motor for the power steering motor, or it could just be a bad motor. The whole rack could be garbage. That's the end thing. The whole rack could be bad. We could be spending like $1,200 to buy a new rack. But we're gonna try the simple things first. And since we already need new batteries, that is what we're gonna start with. We're gonna disconnect these batteries, let it sit, let the computer reset, however that works, and then throw these new batteries in it. See if we have power steering. Could it be that easy? It could. Will it be that easy? Probably not. Now, I really did not buy this truck to resell. I wanted to upgrade to the next best thing, the next best vehicle I could do roadside assistance work with. And this is definitely it. This is the next body style from my 2013. Oh, that went to the ground. That's a good thing. So the first Tahoe I had was a 2014. That one was wrecked in the driver's side doors, both of them right in the B pillar. I had to use a winch in order to pull all that out. Had to get a couple more doors put on there. Almost all the airbags were blown except for the steering airbag. The side curtain airbags were gone. We put that together. We rode it around for about a year, and then we sold it. And we took that money, we made a profit on it, and we paid about the same amount we sold that one for the 2013, which had not been wrecked and had a few less miles on it, and it ran good until we found this one, bought this one, and then sold that one to pay for this one. So I'll probably do the same thing, but I'm probably not going to wait a year to do it. We're going to get this going, get this set up and doing all the things that it should be doing. We'll put it up for sale. If it sells, fine. If it doesn't, that's also fine. We'll use it for about a year. If it sells for some good money, which is tax season now, then we'll just find a newer and better one. And we'll just keep going until we get to, like, I don't know, an Escalade, maybe? One of the big, nice, fancy Escalades. And wouldn't that be cool to do roadside assistance work out of an Escalade? I think it would. Now, other things that could be wrong with this, as I said, this ground wire here, it goes, I don't know where it goes. It goes on down there. So we'll have to check this ground wire. Corrosion on the terminals, they said, could cause it. Bad wiring here can cause it. Is this a ground wire? Does this come back? I think maybe this is a ground wire as well. I'm not sure. We'll have to check that out. Make sure all these connections are good. Make sure those connections are good. Put some fresh batteries in here and see if that does it. Okay, I am back. Had a quick bite to eat, and now we're ready to pull these batteries out. There we go. Let's get this battery out of here, and let's see if this has a date on it, which is 07 of 22. That is old. This is a gold series battery from, this is Die Hard. Who sells Die Hard gold series? AutoZone or Advance? I can't remember. I think Advance Auto Parts sells it, so that's probably where they got this from. There is a good little bit of corrosion. 722 batteries last about 3 years. Sometimes they last 5 years. So this one's pretty much done. It's time to replace it anyway. Made in Spain. I did not know these were made in Spain. That's interesting. So I got the old battery brush here. I'm gonna hit these terminals. They're pretty nasty. I mean, they're not awful, but they were probably getting ready to put a new battery in it. Might have been one of their reasons for getting rid of it. Power steering probably went out, and it was time for these new batteries, and then the mileage on it as well. You know, there comes a certain point, certain age, certain mileage where they're not gonna put any more money into this, or they have a set amount of money that they want to spend on these, and this probably exceeded all of those things. So that's why they didn't do anything. Figured that it needs 2 batteries, it needs a power steering fix, and it's got 200,000 miles on it already. So let's just buy a new one and send it down the road. Nothing really wrong with this truck, but it's just time for the police department to get a new one. Okay, let's get these guys out of the way. Get number 2. Oh, I didn't. Might help if I take the hold down off of that. Forgot to do that. You only need like a 12 and a 13 millimeter to take everything apart on this truck. But just a 12 and a 13 to replace both the batteries. So now we can take this thing out. It's got the go handle on it, but it's really shoved in there behind the water bottle, the overflow tank, and this doesn't help either. That's a bit of a struggle. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. There it goes. Wow. That is not an easy guy to get out. I probably could have taken that cowl panel off. It made it a little bit easier, but you know. There we go. So we are out with the old, in with the new Rural King batteries. The other battery was an AC Delco. So we got one Die Hard, one AC Delco, which neither one of those, oh, is that what AC Delco factory, GM, so maybe they had that one replaced. Check out everything. Oh, I forgot to do the wire thing. Oh, here we go. Let's hit these real quick. On this side, it doesn't look so bad as that other one that really needed some help. Now, it's possible that one of these batteries is good and one of them is bad, and one battery can just be draining the other battery. That's why I didn't turn them in as a core yet. We need to test these batteries, make sure we don't turn in a good battery that we can use somewhere else. All right, let's try to shove this guy down in here. Hopefully it goes in easy. Hopefully it's like a millimeter shorter than the other one, and it just slides into place without any problems whatsoever. No problems. It just goes right in there. Right in there. Without struggling at all. Yeah. No. Come on. Get in there. Go to your home. You live here. You're the same battery. Why doesn't this one want to go in? It's like, oh, it's right there. Okay, I'm gonna struggle with this for a while. Maybe a little pry in there action. Pry on a plastic tank and a plastic battery housing. That can't be good. I mean, I could remove the tank, but it's right there. It's like, why won't it just slip in? Come on. It's the same battery. Just go in. Why won't you go in? Oh, there it goes. Wow. I am so glad I didn't poke a hole in that tank. I was almost tempted to do it the right way and just remove this because it's only held on by 2 bolts. I could just slip that out of the way and would have made it a whole lot easier. But no, we did it the hard way. Put this one under here. And we got power back. I should have put, now that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, just as long as that one's good. I should have put both of them in and then connected all of them up, but that's fine. I'll just have to be careful when I put the cables on there. Okay, your turn. You're going to be so much easier to put in than, so much easier. Oh my gosh. Move this out of the way. Do not ground the positive. Hold on to the positive, don't ground it. Do not ground, there we go. Definitely easier. Negative. Positive. Yep. There we go. There. Now just bolt them down and we'll see if we have some power steering. Break out the old 10mm. Snug these guys down real good. I already tightened the battery down. All right, get this guy over here. That one and that one. Nice. All right, everything is wrapped up, everything's bolted down. Let's see if any of that worked. Everything looks good. Hood is open. Everything looks good on the gauges. But do we have power steering? The light came on that says service power steering, drive with care. So we don't have any power steering. Well, that was not the problem, and I really didn't expect it to be the problem. But there's also the possibility that you have to clear the codes on that module, which I don't. Why does it say open the driver's window? Open, then close driver's window. I guess that's some sort of reset thing there. Okay, I'll open and close the passenger window. I don't know, it's just something it does when you change the batteries or loses power. Service power steering, drive with care. I mean, that didn't reset anything, but I have a run to do. I have to go help somebody change a tire. So we're gonna go down the road and we're gonna clean this up because I have the car wash deal where I can go as many times as I want through the car wash. So we're gonna clean this up before we start cleaning off the decals. So I guess that's the next thing we can do. We're gonna forget about the power steering for a little while, drive around, see if it just so happens to come back while we're driving. I don't know. Do a little research, see if we can reset one of the codes in the module, power steering module. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm learning. This is way newer than anything I normally drive besides my Jeep. Okay, we have our customer all taken care of, got the tire changed, and now that we're out, let's run this thing through the car wash real quick. Like I said, I pay for Mike's car wash, not Mike's car wash, it's called True Car Wash, and I can run this thing through as many times as I like. So if I want to run it through 5 times a day, I can run it through 5 times a day. That's what I pay for. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up, and hopefully we can get back to the house before the snow gets all over it again, because it's been melting and the roads have puddles on it. It's got all that salt on it and it makes a real mess. As soon as you clean these vehicles, you're back to a dirty car. So the power steering still isn't working, but I come across a couple other things that it might be. Apparently there's a belt inside the power steering box, and it has 2 sets of gears, and that belt can break and it not work. And there's also a fuse somewhere that we have to look for. So there's a lot of things that can make your power steering not work. So let's go back to the house and get this cleaned up a little bit more and look for some more reasons this power steering is not working. All right, we are back in the driveway, and it's a lot harder to see it when it's all nice and clean, but it is still there. You have to get in the glare to see it. But every time that we get it dirty, it's going to come back pretty bad. Now, this is acetone. I like to use this. It seems to work pretty well on getting that gooey, gummy mess off of there. If we just get it on the old towel here and give it some rubs, it comes off pretty easy. Just like that. You can see it breaking down the glue. Sometimes you gotta wipe it on there, let it sit for a second, and then go back over it, back and forth a little bit, and it starts to come off. So I'm gonna give that a few rubs and see what happens. And with about 20 minutes of scrubbing and rubbing, it's a lot better. It's not perfect. I got like one little piece that I'll have the heat gun off right there and right there, but it's pretty good all the way around. You can't see it sticking up. Had to do both sides and the back. It looks a lot better. So that's one thing. I think we need to get back on the power steering aspect of it. It looks good now, but man, that power steering is rough. So I'm gonna do some more research, try to find some more things that might be wrong with this car, and then make a list. We'll start going through those little items. We're gonna have to eliminate this one by one until we get to the point where we're gonna have to replace the rack. Do not want to replace the rack. Okay, so it is later by a few days, and I come to a discovery. What I did, I was checking the wiring, making sure that there wasn't any loose or broken wires going to the electric power steering motor. So what I had to do is I had to take these panels off here, the skid plates. Took the skid plates off, and I didn't put them back on, and I got busy. I had to go do some more work, and I ran it through the car wash again, and as soon as I got out of the car wash, it started working. It didn't work long, but it worked for a little while, the power steering that is, and I was able to use it until I got into some heavy turns, and then it went out again. I thought, well, that can't be a coincidence. I ran it through another car wash. It worked again. Sometimes it worked for an hour, sometimes it worked for 5 minutes, but every time I take it through the car wash, it would work. So, what does that mean? Probably a bad ground wire. So the water is getting onto the wires in between the connection and maybe the terminal, and creating connectivity, continuity, whatever you want to call it, and making the connection good for a little while until the water dries out or I hit a bump or something like that and it goes away. So I'm checking the ground wires. That's the next step. Now this has a few different ground wires. I have already gotten one that's located, where's it located? Ugh, you can't see it from here. It's underneath, it's behind the panel here. You can't see it now. I had it jacked up, and I I cleaned it up. Goes one on either side. Let me see if we can see it over here a little bit better. Right there behind the wheel well panel. There's one on both sides. I cleaned that one up. I cleaned the one on the other side. But there's another one by the starter somewhere. Where's it at? By the engine block. There it is. Can you see it? Way up here. Way up there. So The one on that side and that one come down from the battery terminal. I need to clean that one up. I'll have to do that off camera because I can't quite reach up in there and hold the camera at the same time. But we'll clean that up and see if we have any power steering. Okay, we got the bolt out, the wire hanging down. I'm just gonna wire brush it real quick and get the block. Let's stick it back up there and see if that solves our problem. Of course, it may be the ground wire itself could be bad. Could be broke or corroded on the inside. There we go. But we're gonna try the simple things first. And then when that doesn't work, we'll move on. Well, that took a little doing, but you can't go wrong cleaning up ground wires. Let's turn this thing back on and see what we have. Rear gate is open, but do we have power steering? Oh, it's a little jerky. Oh, but it's starting to work. Still a little jerky. Oh, see? Not quite. It came, went away again. We had power steering, but it went away. So that is telling us maybe we need a ground wire. Oh well, at least it worked for a second there. All right, so it is later now again. And what we have here, the only thing I did differently, try to get this to work, is there's another ground wire right back there. So pulled this one off, cleaned everything up, and it would appear that we have power steering once more. One finger. Nice. Now hopefully that fix lasts, but I am debating rather to just go ahead and replace the negative terminal here, because every now and then it'll still the needle on the voltmeter will slip below 14, which I think it should run on 14 just about all the time. I'm not 100% sure, but it slips down every now and then. It's kind of weird. So we may still have a ground problem. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube replace that negative terminal on that battery. So it seems like a common problem that cable, something happens to it. We might have to do that later. So, and also there's some people on YouTube that upgrade the negative wiring harnesses on all of these terminals. So that's something we may look into later down the road to keep all the electronics nice and fresh. These things live on ground wires. It's crazy how much grounding this thing needs. But that seems to be pretty good for now. There is one more thing. I'm gonna add it later, but I scored a good deal on this Satina push bar. So this came off of another Tahoe just like this one, and it has all the brackets, has all the bolts, everything that it needs. Well, not everything, because there's lights that go here that are missing. So normally on a police car this would have red and blues. In the state of Indiana we can run clear and amber. So probably get just a couple clears, strobies on there to flash. Sometimes they have some on the sides. I don't think we need any on the sides. There's a couple holes right here where a speaker went. I was thinking about mounting just like maybe a floodlight here so we can have a little bit of light for when we work on in the dark in somebody's car. So we'll put those two in. We'll find these, get those put in. And the truck, I don't know if it'll cover, if the bar will cover it, but there's a light that goes here, and there was one back there behind the grill, one on each side. So we had to put push bar up and see if that covers it. If it covers this, we're not worried about it. I don't know if it's going to cover here, right there or not, but we still have to come in here. We have to cut these panels out and get everything ready. I took the front license plate off to get it ready, but that's for another time. So, oh, and we need some lights that go here as well. So we can either put in floodlights or some more safety lights there as well. That'll get us pretty good. And one more thing that I did do is I covered up these holes that were in the back. There were lights here originally. I haven't hooked these up yet because I'm gonna hook all the wires together and put them in, but you know, it looks better just having things covered up. Yeah, that's my license plate. I'm not worried about people having my license plate because not a whole lot you can do with that. So anyway, when we hook lights up, there were some more lights that go here and here, and also we're going to put lights. They didn't have any mounted here out the back. They had some mounted here. Okay, yeah, they had them mounted here and there. So I guess we can either put them here and there, or there and there, and then have these and these. So when we have the deck open, it'll flash and people can see. So maybe here and here, I would say up here and here would probably be better. So we have plenty of light when we have the deck open, and then our lights will flash there. Indiana, you can have red, amber, or clear flashing on the back. So we'll be good to go there. Those are red there. So that is the update on the 2016 Chevy Tahoe that we bought from the govdeals.com auction over in Columbus, Ohio. State of Columbus. No, state of Ohio. Their surplus center is out in Columbus. So that's where you can pick that up. We paid $3,800 for this 2016 Chevy Tahoe. Did not have power steering. Power steering's back. We added a couple batteries, and we're gonna add, you know, a couple $100 worth of wiring and lights to it. So this is our upgrade package. Maybe in another 6 months or so, we'll sell this one and upgrade again to something newer. We can keep doing that until we get something nice. I mean, this is already nice, but it can always be nicer, right? So this video was made for everybody that wanted to see what I did with this truck. So there it is. It's all ready to go. I'm already working out of this truck, doing roadside assistance. It's a very well running truck. You can't go wrong with a Chevy Tahoe. So that is it. And that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rag Garage. Until next time.